Hey guys, today I'm sharing with you a super simple recipe, but it is so good and it's one I feel like everyone needs to know because it's just the best croutons that you can make. Now you can make this using any bread, any stale bread, whether it's store-bought or homemade, but I am using my homemade sweet dinner rolls. I shared in a video recently. I made these several days ago. They were covered for the first 2 days or so. But after they started getting a little stale and hard, I left them on the counter, open up so they can completely get as hard as they could. So it took about 2 days, just opened out like that. So they're nice and hard and stale and ready to go. Now I am using my sweet dinner rolls recipe for this. I will leave the recipe link down below. I think it is the best bread to use for this because the balance between the sweetness and the saltiness and the cheesiness just is absolute perfection. So my bread is mostly hard. It is nice and it is solid. It's exactly what I want. And this is perfect for, again, any leftover bread. So it's one thing, waste not, want not, use this. You can use these croutons on salads. And you can see this bread is amazing when it's fresh. And it's also amazing when it's stale. Seriously, the best bread recipe. So grateful, thankful, and blessed. So I'm going to cut this up in about 1-inch pieces or so. So 1 to 1.5 inch pieces, doesn't have to be perfect. Now, because my bread wasn't completely, it was hard all around the edges and stuff, but the center was a little bit soft, so there are still some crumbs. We're gonna place our large chunks of bread in a bowl and leave all the crumbs behind. So I have my breadcrumbs. Now this was 2 rolls here, and this will give me a couple, like 2 cups of croutons. And so the amount I'm using is for these 2 rolls. I'm gonna add in about 1/2 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. I have this organic poultry seasoning here. I like to add just a dash, about 1/4 teaspoon to this. This is optional if you don't have it, but it does add great flavor because there's rosemary and thyme and all those lovely herbs in this poultry seasoning. So just about 1/4 teaspoon, a little pinch of black pepper. You don't want it to be too spicy unless you do. A small dash of salt. Give all the dry ingredients a slight little mix. And we're going to add in some olive oil. I'm adding about 3 tablespoons of olive oil. I like about 1.5 tablespoons per roll. But you know what? You can add more or less if you want. You just want to make sure everything is nice and, lightly coated. You don't want it to be drenched in oil or drenched in seasonings. You just want everything to be lightly coated with the oil and the seasonings. Now we cannot forget one of the most important ingredients is the Parmesan cheese. We're going to need about 3 tablespoons of parm. Again, 1.5 tablespoons per roll. Again, Add more or less if you want. But the Parmesan cheese with the Italian seasoning and the olive oil and the sweetness from the bread with a little pinch of salt, it just is like perfection. Perfection. This is going to go in my oven at 400 degrees. This is gonna go in my oven at 400 degrees for 10 minutes, and it's gonna get, you want to let these cool completely, and as they're cooling they are going to get crunchier and just amazing. It's just amazing. I am also using a pizza pan with the holes in it to make sure that all around this bread can get nice and crunchy. You can use whatever pan that you have, but I find that the pizza pan with the holes at the bottom works best. It's just a couple of ingredients. You know, the first time I actually had this, and I really got to give credit to my neighbor who actually shared with me her using store-bought bread to make croutons, and I use it with my sweet dinner rolls, and it's honestly perfection with the sweet dinner roll recipe because of the balance of flavors with the sweetness and the saltiness and the everything. I hope that you give it a try. Even if it's not with this bread, just give it a try. It's so easy and it's a great snack or for on top of salads, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.